Former Pakistani Senator Afrasiab Khattak joins us from Islamabad in Pakistan. Senator, thank you for your time. What's your understanding about the importance of the Panjshir Valley? I mean, is it only a matter of time before the Taliban subdue that resistance movement there? Or if the resistance continues, could that be a major problem for the Taliban?
It's very significant, first of all, because they have overrun the entire country except Panjshir. So it's the only province which is not under control of Taliban. Secondly, Panjshir has been the center of resistance for Taliban the last time when they were ruling Afghanistan. It was the toughest resistance that they faced from Panjshir and its very famous leader, Commander Ahmad Massoud. So that symbolism and history is involved. But so far, Taliban have restrained from attacking it outrightly because they think it will complicate their problems in terms of recognition by international community. So they have been putting a lot of pressure on Panjshir. They have surrounded it from all sides. But I think Panjshir people have experience in living under siege, and I think they are still resisting.
There was news that the Taliban said that they had offered some kind of truce and had tried to make some sort of deal so that they wouldn't have to fight for control of Panjshir. Are you surprised that the resistance movement has rejected that? Do you think there may come a point where it will be forced to accept some kind of deal?
Well, the demands emanating from Panjshir are national type of demands. They are not local. Taliban would like to reduce them to a locality where they can meet their local demands for appointing somebody as governor or something. But Panjshir is demanding a greater role in terms of defining the coming government. They say it should be an inclusive government for the entire Afghanistan, which means ethnic inclusivity, ideological inclusivity. These are difficult demands, and that's why Taliban are avoiding to meet those demands. And that's the factor behind the political stalemate that we are witnessing.
Over the past week or so, we've heard that representatives of the Turkish government held a 3-hour meeting with members of the Taliban in Kabul. We know that the Qataris are talking to the Taliban. We've now heard that the Russians say they are speaking to members of the Taliban. Is Pakistan doing the same?
Well, some of very prominent Tajik leaders are staying put in Islamabad for almost 2 weeks. And they include brothers of Commander Ahmad Massoud. So they are from Panjshir. Pakistani government is talking to them, and they are talking to Panjshir with their nephew, who is leading resistance along with Mr. Amrullah Saleh, the vice president of previous Afghan government. So I think Pakistan is also playing a behind-the-scenes role, although it's not making anything public. Because they think the exchanges are quite sensitive. So they want to be quiet about it as long as they do not reach any conclusion.
Do you think that there's some potential for internal problems inside Pakistan? And I'm thinking particularly of that region that you know particularly well, which we used to call the Northwest Frontier, up there on the border with Afghanistan, now called Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And I ask you that because of the Pathan tribes that are made up, that live in the Northwest Frontier, and the fact that the Taliban are mostly made up of Pakhtuns. Could what's happening in Afghanistan cause some sort of unrest? There has been a feeling of some sort of separatist movement in the NWFP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, for decades.
At the moment, it is the threat of radicalization, religious radicalization. TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, these are Pakistani Talibans, but they are very closely connected with Afghan Taliban. It's basically one and the same movement, as some generals call it two sides of the same coin. Taliban, when they entered Afghanistan and they entered the cities, they released more than 2,000 fighters of Pakistani Taliban who were imprisoned by the previous Afghan government. So these guys are heading towards Pakistan, and that is creating a grave threat for the stability and security of the areas very close to the river line. I am a Pashtun. Yeah, I also come from that area, and I know there's a lot of anxiety, and there are already attacks and security people. There are abductions, and there are all sorts of threats in this area with the ascendancy of the Taliban in Kabul. It's always accompanied by rise of radical religious movements on this side of the Duran line also.
Senator Afrasiab Khattak, thank you so much indeed for your time, sir.